Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another monthly session of What's New in AWS, brought to you by AWS Enterprise Support. My name is Mark Napoli. Thank you for joining. Friday, the 11th of November. We're here every month talking about the newest releases for AWS through the lens of Enterprise Support. Enterprise Support's a part of AWS, and we have been for nearly 15 years now, supporting our enterprise customers to adopt the platform. And we do that through having an amazing team of technical account managers and enterprise support managers. And I am blessed to have a bunch of them join me today. I'm going to bring them all on and give them a wave. So first up, we've got Raven. Hi, loving that haircut, Raven.
Thank you.
Very slick. Yeah, very nice. Simon, can't see your hair there, but what do you got on that cap? New York? No. AWS. Represent. Yeah, thank you for joining. You're a technical account manager in Sydney, I believe.
In Melbourne, very close.
Nice one. And you've got orange around your photo, which means you've been at AWS for more than 5 years.
That's right. I've just celebrated my 6th anniversary here.
Fantastic.
So, exciting stuff.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Always in Melbourne, or?
No, I was in Hong Kong for 4 years before relocating to Melbourne in 2020, right between a couple of lockdowns. So fun times. I can tell you the story later.
Yeah, I'm sure. Cool. Welcome, Simon. Hello, Graham. How's things?
Hello. Nice to be here. Thanks, Mark. I'm well, thank you.
Yeah, good. And we have the ever-present Nelson.
Hey, Mark. How are you? Hey, team. Thank you for inviting me again.
Really well. Yeah, we had some great updates from you on Connect last month, and I'm sure there'll be even more this month. So, all right, let's jump into it. I think, Graham, you and I are up first. We're going to talk about, let's have a look what we're talking about. We're going to cover artificial intelligence and machine learning. I know this is an area you are super keen in, given your engineering background. And I know you're multilingual, so this one, or at least trying to be multilingual. So I think this one is exciting for you. So this was a release. When was this one? This is recent, Graham? 4th of November, so just a couple of days ago.
It is, yeah. This is a new deep learning container for natural language processing. So any customers that are looking to perform rapid development of new language models, this is a big one.
Okay, so natural language processing. Can we cover a little bit about what that is? So is that prediction of the next word in a sentence, or is it translation, or is it sort of all of the above?
Yeah, it's a really broad field, actually. So natural language processing is understanding unstructured text. So that can be anything, right? It can be text messages all the way through to, documents and websites, or just random data that's thrown through the model. And the field of natural language processing, and in particular for this deep learning container, Hugging Face, can do a lot of different things.
Okay. So language of all types, and so deep learning containers and deep speed, are they two different things? How do we separate those?
They're two different things. Yeah, the deep learning container is essentially a Docker container. So if you've used Docker before, it's easy to get started. You can just pull the container onto your local host, open the container up, and start running with the libraries that are pre-installed on that. Deep speed is if you want to start hosting endpoints of your model. Once it's trained and prepared, deep speed's are able to get you up and running quickly. Okay,
so deep speed is the inference side of the offering.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a standard Docker container that contains the model. Is that so? I mean, how do customers get to use that? Right. So I'm guessing there's a number of different ways that they can consume that container. I mean, for me, immediately the ECR comes to mind. So using a registry of sorts, but I think there's multiple ways of doing it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, anywhere that you have access to pull a Docker container from. We've got EC2 as the standard compute offering in Amazon. So just pull that deep learning container onto your local EC2 instance, and then you can start using it straight away. But if you want to really take advantage of some of the power of our managed offerings, then picking up Amazon SageMaker and using that to train your model for your specific tasks, you can get the power of the optimization and the model training that's available there. You can pick up GPU instances and rapidly go through your training. And then when you're ready to deploy something that's either an automated pipeline, then you can go on to ECS or EKS, which is the Elastic Container Service and Elastic Kubernetes Service.
Gotcha. Okay, lots of options for deployment then. So SageMaker will also do deployment of endpoints for inference as well, right? So you don't have to worry about the infrastructure required at the end of your training process to serve the model. Is that right?
Exactly right. Yeah. And as I was researching this this latest one, I came across a development that came through this year, but I missed it, where you can host multiple containers now on the same inferencing endpoint. And that's also a really big plus for the Amazon SageMaker inferencing endpoints.
Gotcha. Anything else to say on that, on the deep learning containers before we move on to the next one?
It's one of the harder parts of machine learning, natural language processing. So it's great to see this new ability for customers to be able to rapidly experiment in that space.
Yeah, I love that. We call it, well, maybe we're not calling it, but the Hugging Face Accelerate model. That's
interesting names.
Yeah, Hugging Face.
I'm not sure where it comes from.
Yeah. Okay. So the next one I know is a little close to your heart. We recently added formality customization for Dutch, Korean, and Mexican Spanish. From memory, I think we did many of the European languages back in February. So, Italian.
We did, yeah. This is a feature that came out originally in February. It's the ability to add formality to the language translation. And as an English speaker, this isn't something that I'd come across until I started learning German, just briefly some time ago, maybe last year. The German language that I'm familiar with has a formal construct. If you're speaking with somebody that you don't know or somebody who's older than you, you need to choose different words in your sentence structures. And for a lot of other languages, we can see here Dutch, Korean, and Mexican Spanish, they have a similar need to be sensitive to the formality of a situation. And it's all context driven. It's impossible for a machine learning model to know in advance what you need to translate to. And so if you like, we can do a quick demo to see what that looks like in practice. Unfortunately,
yes,
I can't do it with Korean or Mexican Spanish, but we can do this for German.
Yeah, I needed this when I was a child. I remember in Italian class, I would get wrapped over the knuckles if I used the informal description of someone instead of the formal description. Typically, the formal description, you refer to someone in third person almost.
Right.
So let's have it. Okay, so you're going to do English to German. I'll give you control here. Hopefully this works and we can see your screen with real-time translation from Amazon Translate here.
That's right.
So what does this look like? Can you show us?
So as I mentioned, I'm familiar with German. So in German, the formal construct is whenever you refer to somebody with the you pronoun. So if I quickly jump onto that and say, how are you? The default is Wie geht es dir? And I'll just highlight the text that's been translated. So I've typed in how are you, which is translated to Wie geht es dir? But this is using the default, which was the original translation. If I scroll down to the additional settings, there's a new button that was added in February. This is formality. So flicking this on allows us to switch between formal and informal language. This is informal. So if we choose informal, nothing's going to change. But if I change that to formal, it's now Wie geht es Ihnen?
Okay, so that would, I guess, depend on whether you're greeting your mate at the bus stop or greeting the principal of your school, and being much more formal in the way that you use tone, which isn't always obvious when you're talking about language. So that's really cool.
That's right. And for customers who are using Amazon Translate in a variety of contexts, they may want to have some ability to modify the formality based on whether the translation is going to somebody who is expecting it, in which case you'd want to pick up the formal translation, Or perhaps it's a translation app which is going between friends, in which case you can pick up the informal translation.
Of course. Yeah. So the context matters. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And then there's a flag that you can set.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I like that one. So we've got extra languages for that. We've got German, we've got Korean, Mexican, Spanish. Interestingly different to Spanish. Maybe Nelson can help us there. Nice one. Okay. Anything else on that one, Graham, before we move on?
Yeah, I have to start practicing my German a lot more.
Well, fortunately, Amazon Translate will help you with that. So yeah, nice one. Okay.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you. I'll hand over to Rovan now. Thank you, Graham. Rovan has a special guest today, Simon, who's going to talk about compliance and security. So I'll leave it to you guys. Take it away.
Thanks, Napoli, and welcome, Simon. I know it's your first time here with us today on the What's New, so appreciate you joining me in the compliance and security.
Yep.
Awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Rovan. Really excited to be here. Slightly nervous. Hopefully, I'll be able to slow down my speech a little bit. So actually, on the 27th of October, we've announced 2 new features on AWS WAF, but it was wrapped in one announcement. And so I'll talk about the first one first, which is the bot control for targeted bots. We've launched bot control for AWS WAF in April this year, but that's more focused on common or self-identifying bots, which means that bots that can be mitigated with traditional bot detection techniques, things like frequency of the request and the interval of the request, or whether there is information in the header that we can use to identify the bots, like browser information, OS version, etc. So we label these bots in categories so that customer can choose to allow certain bots, like search engine crawlers, to go through while blocking others.
Okay, well, that makes sense, and it's really cool. So what would be a target bot protection, though?
Yeah, so with targeted bot protection, we're using a much more sophisticated detection method because some bots are now, much more advanced. So targeted protection uses, things like browser interrogation, fingerprinting, and behavioral heuristics to identify bad bot traffic. As you know, cybersecurity is a really hot topic right now, especially here in Australia. And bot is just one of the things that a lot of customers is hoping to identify. So I think this would definitely be useful to them. But these can also be used to include, browser automation tools like Selenium or Puppeteers, which uses a real browser. It has a real OS, but it's not, traffic that our customer might be expecting or looking for. So I think one of the really interesting tidbit is that AWS WAF will create a baseline for each device and uses machine learning models to identify the rate limiting if a dynamic threshold is exceeded. So not, each website or each client has like the same threshold. That's really good for configuration for your WAF in your website.
That sounds cool. And I guess, if I'm not wrong, correct me if I am, it could be very interesting for customers like maybe in wagering or retail, or customers who really go through peak season because of Christmas sales or, Black Friday, so on. What about challenge rule action? And is that something different or it's the same as capture?
Yeah, so we've had capture as a rule action on AWS WAF for some time. So rule action just means if a WAF rule is matched, then the WAF will respond with the selected action. But I think I speak for most people here that, apart from long website wait times, capture is really the bane of my online existence. I just can't deal with it. And so this is where challenge comes in. Challenge rule action is a new AWS WAF rule action that can silently validate against bot sessions. So if you think about like capture challenge or other challenges, even if you need to click like I'm not a robot, it's still, you know, a click, right? But with challenge, AWS WAF would do the validation by session acquisition for clients that support JavaScript or is using our native mobile SDK. So really, you know, a more seamless experience for the end user, and it's really easy to set up. You know, you basically enable bot action in the AWS WAF, select some of the rule sets, select your rule action, and you're done. So really, two very exciting new features for AWS WAF launched it a couple of weeks ago. Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool. And I guess the second one would be the Amazon Detective and the integration filter. Actually, the integration was always there, but it's more of grouping guard duty findings. And if I take this, if you don't mind, Simon, feel free to ask me.
Yeah, please do. Please walk us through.
If I'm not that clear. So practically, if anyone in the audience haven't heard of Guard Duty or Amazon Detective, they're both AWS services and obviously for security and compliance. So a quick overview about Guard Duty. It's a threat detection service on AWS. So it continuously analyzes AWS log sources and try to produce findings based on the threats that it detects or identifies. So it can identify threats like things in your S3 bucket, objects that you have in S3 bucket, containers workload, EC2s, and so on. And it also can pick up and identify a thread or a trend on actual user, an IAM user, and an account. So if there is something suspicious there, that will be quite picked up by Guard Duty, which is really good. And I guess if I were to anticipate your question, Simon, what type of data source Guard Duty would work on? And there is about 5 data sources. There's things like PPC logs, DNS query logs, cloud trail events, and so on. And once it goes through all of these data sources, it produces the results and all of these detected or identified threats in categorized. So there is high severity, there's medium severity, and there's also low severity findings. Make it easy to the security ops or security engineers to know what to focus on practically.
Yeah.
So how do you find the Guard Duty findings? You want to go either, there's multiple ways. You want to go to the Guard Duty console, or you can also consume it through the Guard Duty APIs. You could also consume it through EventBridge to automate the findings and so on. You can integrate it with the Security Hub or also ITSM tool if you're planning to take any action on these findings, like remediate an EC2 thread or shut down one of the containers that you identify the thread on, or disable a user, so on.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely perfect for our customers who are looking to, you know, enrich the findings in Guard Duty. That's definitely something that our customers are looking for right now.
Agree. And then I guess your next question would be, I know you're not asking me questions you're not used to, but I'm asking myself, all right. But probably the detective. What is Amazon Detective? So Amazon Detective is another, obviously, security and compliance service by AWS. And it goes through the findings of actually other services like collateral logs, VPC flow logs as well, Guard Duty findings, which based on these two, and DNS query logs that I've mentioned before. It also look into the EKS audit logs and try to detect what is the security threat there, and after it analyze and pick up on these potential risk. It also can be integrated in Security Hub, and the integration there is really cool because with all of the security services, you ideally want to have a pane of glass of all of these findings aggregated in one view. and that would be AWS security hubs that aggregate everything. So after it gets all of these findings from all of these sources and services, you can aggregate it into Security Hub to have that view, and you can also it can also help you identify what is the root cause behind that threat, which save you heaps of time, especially if you work in security operation, to try to troubleshoot or investigate, what is happening, why is this happening. So it providing you with the root cause analysis, that's quite critical to shorten your time to troubleshoot, really.
Yeah. Awesome.
So,
thank you, Robin.
I guess to wrap it up, if you don't mind. So the announcement today is about detective improves the findings and aggregation of finding of guard duty. So as any kind of DevSecOps engineer or a cybersecurity team, the number of findings, the number of security threats that he will get is going to be a lot, right? You definitely don't want to be in a blind spot, or you don't want to miss on a critical thing. Guard duty will help categorize this and say this is high risk, this is medium, this is low, and you have this plane of glass for all of the findings. But what the new announcement actually give you now, it's not just categorize it based on the severity, it also give you a summary page. That's outside of security hubs, that's just between detective and guard duty. It provides you a summary page that groups all of these findings and from the guard duty and the details of it, and it tells you what is the affected AWS resources. Is it an account or maybe something else? And it's good, really. It's aligned if you look into the adopted security framework and threat detection model by AWS. That's aligned to that, and it's, I guess, great ease for anyone in security and cyber. So I guess, do you have any questions for me, Simon, or did I cover it all?
No, you've covered it all. You've anticipated all of my questions. I couldn't ask in time.
Yep. I should zip my mouse a little bit more. Apology. That's next time. All right. Thank you a lot for joining me today. Really appreciate it. I'll bring in Nathan.
My pleasure.
Yeah, thanks, Robin. Thank you, Simon. That targeted bot one is super critical, particularly today. I think everyone's getting absolutely frustrated with bots in general. So thank you guys. We're going to move on to AI-powered contact centers, and our favorite guest, one of our favorite guests, Nelson Martinez. Nelson, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, Mark. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. AI-powered contact centers. So we've had contact centers around for a while now. Amazon Connect obviously is our flagship product there. What is an AI-powered contact center? How does it fit into this landscape here?
Yeah, basically as the name said, is basically we are using AI ML in the heart of Amazon Connect, and many of our capabilities that are in the screen at the moment are basically powered by our machine learning capabilities inside. Then, for example, last month we talked about the forecasting, capacity planning, and scheduling. Yeah, that's basically how you manage your workforce. We talk about outbound campaigns to be able to be more productive when you need to reach out to customers. Contact people. We have some new announcements about Wisdom. That is our capability to, in real time, provide knowledge articles to the agents, basically to empower the agent. Contact Lens that we had talked early in the year about the capability to do transcription, sentiment analysis in real time, and post-call. That is like a speech analytics, basically. Voice ID.
So are you saying that there's pretty much machine learning that's underpinning each of these new components each of these components in Amazon Connect?
Yes, correct. And it's super easy to enable. That is basically one of the main characteristics. You enable this contact lens 2 clicks and it's ready. trying to do that
Not
in
one
the past.
click?
Like
It's,
yeah, it could be one click. One click is to enable it in the console, and the next one is in the
another one is to turn it on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wisdom piqued my interest because we talked about this before we came on today, and that is, I think you're going to show us something here
Are you seeing
about
my screen
wisdom,
now?
because it's probably not so well known from people. I think that's over on you now. But wisdom is something that the agents themselves, so the people receiving the calls, and this is the interface for the agent.
Correct.
I think this should be an animated GIF, so we'll see in a minute what's happening here. So we've got a search wisdom pop up in the corner.
Yes, then basically this is the agent app. This is our new interface. Then we have the previous agent CCP that is in the left, and when we added all these capabilities as part of the same interface, then what you will have is customer profiles. Let me talk about that first. Then you will be able to get like out of the box the capability to have your customer data, and then you can pop up that when the call is received. A customer profiles will be able to get data from multiple sources, like a Salesforce and Desk and other ones, and have a unified view to the agent. Then Wisdom basically can do two things. One is it will allow the agent to search, like they can type a specific request from the customer, and then Wisdom will provide knowledge articles. Or what we are seeing at the moment is in real time, leveraging Amazon Connect and contact lens in real time, is able to pop up a suggestion. Basically, Wisdom is listening to the call and it's telling you, based on what I heard that this person wants to know about Amazon Connect. Then let me give you some documents that will help
some possible. So it's feeding the agent information. It's listening to the transcription of the conversation. Then it's using a natural language processing model to say, hey, this person's just asked about Amazon Connect. Perhaps the agent will want to sound really informed, and here you go. Let's pop up a panel with some articles that might help the agent sound like they know what they're doing, which is amazing. I mean, that's really what you want to do: real-time information, contextual information for the agent, for the agent. Awesome.
To empower the agent, basically. And what is new about this that was released very recently is that the model has improved. Then it will be able to semantically capture what the customer wants to say based on the type of words or which words are next to each other. Then it basically is a smarter model. Have been trained.
It's been trained. Based on the typical sorts of conversations that agents would have.
Correct.
I wonder if it captures things in German. That would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be the Spanish, Mexican Spanish. You're looking about. Again, that is one new release. The next one was customer profiles. Then we released customer profiles a while ago, but what happened now is we added more fields that will be shown to the agent in the agent app. Then as we can see here, you will have like a credit card, a status, so balance, so information from your CRM that can be specifically be added to the profiles, and that will basically be displayed to the agent. That was the new addition in the last few weeks. Profiles,
Brilliant. Okay, really useful releases there. But so this is all around sort of machine learning capabilities that we provide. So
correct.
So I guess you could think of them as non-customized machine learning models. But I think we have some new features around customized machine learning models. So what's the difference there? What's the main benefit really of customers venturing into making their own models?
Yeah, basically the what we have done in this case is the contact center is a source of a large amount of data about the customer customer experience. We have call recordings, we have call transcriptions, we have sentiment analysis during the different calls. We have customer profile with customer data. Then what we are basically, and we will talk about that in the reinvent section, what we are working now is try to get that data to have a model that will be customized specifically for that business, for my company. Then one example that we are going to present in one of the sessions in Reinvent is about churn prediction. Then churn prediction is basically something that many companies lost trillions of dollars per year. And as you know, getting a new customer is more expensive than keeping their own customers. And something that is key about that is, even if you are loyal to a company, if you have a bad interaction, that will be enough for you to leave the company. Then that is what we want to focus on. Then what we have done is we get all this data from Amazon Connect, from contact lens, from customer profiles, and then we provide that to SageMaker. And SageMaker, as we know, it will be it's our machine learning solution that we will be able to create a model based on that specific customer information.
Okay, right. So as a customer of Connect, I can rely on the Amazon provided, API driven type machine learning models that can give me some capability. But if I want to look at my own data and make predictions on customer X or customer Y that might churn because we've detected sentiment in some of the transactions or we've detected certain patterns of behavior, then customers really need to look at this sort of overlay of Amazon Connect with all of the really key data and SageMaker, which provides the ability to create customized machine learning models.
Yes.
So that those two go really well together. And is that what you're talking about in your reInvent session?
Yes, correct. That is what we are discussing later. But basically, the main point there is we want to the contact center specialist to collaborate with the data science specialist.
Yeah.
Then data science love data. And we, as contact center, we have a lot of data. That basically is the perfect match to start doing incredible things to our customers.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so you've got some sessions. I know Roven's got some sessions there. I'm going to bring Graham and Roven in to talk about reInvent, which is my clock just 2 weeks away.
It is so exciting.
Tell us why you're excited, guys. What is this number 10? reInvent number 10, number 11? What are we up to now?
This is our 11th year of reInvent.
That's a lot of time in Vegas. Tell us why you're excited about this one, guys.
Yeah, the most important announcements happen at reInvent for our year. So we'll be announcing the big news, product launches, how we're changing the cloud landscape, and everyone that attends is going to learn how to apply some new innovations to your business. There's a whole heap of different content. We've got leadership sessions, breakout content. There's gamified learning and workshops. There's the expo, community. For those people who attend, there's the replay party. Riot Games are getting in on the action this year. They've got a whole area. They're going to be bringing everyone's favorite Riot characters. And of course, the keynotes. Don't miss the keynotes. For everyone like myself who aren't able to attend in person, you can subscribe to the reInvent portal. That'll give you access to the breakout sessions and the keynotes. You can watch them live or on demand. Unfortunately, the builders sessions and the workshops won't be available online. But regardless, if you're interested, it's essential to make a plan, right? Check out the agenda.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And make a plan for what you want to watch.
When you jump on the reInvent portal, to add to Graham, you can also go, there's categorization for sessions by industry and also by technology. So if you're a financial sector, you can just click on financial sector, show you all of the financial sector sessions by AWS and also by customers. If you work in security, you can just click security and it will show you all of the security sessions or connect sessions and so on. So it's a good way to give you an idea what type of session is going to run, when it's going to run. And if you're going to go in person, make sure you come and say hello to Nelson and myself. We will be thrilled to meet you there and answer any questions you might have. If you're going to be virtual, don't forget to favor the session so you get a reminder about it, and you can always watch it on demand after it got streamed live. And I can see now Mark have put the next slide, which has my my session. Thank you.
Yeah, and a customer, and one alongside a customer, which is pretty cool. Commonwealth Bank of Australia.
Indeed.
Fantastic.
Yeah. The ones that I'm most excited about, to be honest. So I have two sessions, which is put your cloud cost on track, it's mainly around cost optimization. How you're going to apply the architected and model on cost optimization, or framework on cost optimization. We're going to give customers lots of tips and tricks that can get you to tackle all of the low-hanging fruit, and a strategy to get you to analyze your cost and be on the right track. So if you're not going to make it in, try to at least watch it on demand. It's going to give you really good insight what you should do in an actionable fashion. The workshop there, which is on the left-hand side, the ARC 202, which is a 2 hours workshop, and that's only for the in-person attendees. And this is where we're going to actually walk the customers through how can they build and analyze their cloud cost and visualize it using different services. How can they measure their workload efficiency and see if they are on track, if they're getting the right outcome of this workload or not, or that went beyond the budget. So try to attend this. There's about three, actually
that
four.
One, yeah, that one's my favorite, only because it's November 29th, which is my birthday. So I won't be there celebrating cost optimization with you, Rovan, but I'm sure it's going to be amazing. And Nelson, you've got two as well.
I'll make sure everyone in the workshop say happy birthday to you, Mark.
That would be lovely. If you could get everyone to sing happy birthday and stream it, that would be fantastic. Nelson, what are you talking about at reInvent?
Then basically two in your birthday, by the way. Then I will be talking about what we just discussed, the AI powered contact center. We are going to build one. Basically, we are going to SageMaker. We have some data this synthetic data we are going to use, and then we will create this model, and then we will build Amazon Connect. We will have Lambda functions and all those serverless applications to show in real time how we can get a customer that is going south to move it out and basically
is that will that be streamed as well, or is that a workshop?
No, that is a workshop. Sorry, they said that. Yeah, that is a workshop. It will be hands-on for 2 hours. There are 2 sessions at the moment. They are filling up. And the other one is about the building Amazon Connect resiliency in mind. Now there is a chalk talk.
Chalk talk.
Yes.
Nice. All right. Thank you. Good luck to both of you.
I'm not competitive or anything. Thank you. If you are in person and you find the session in the same Nelson's session, same time as mine, make sure that you just attend mine, and then you can watch this on demand.
Is at the same time? Okay.
I'm gonna do it anyway.
No favorites. Well, thank you, Nelson and Graham and Simon. Sorry, someone got to add you in there. Really appreciate you sharing insights this month. We will be back next month. We're usually the second Friday, although we might push it out a week, given we expect there to be lots of releases from reInvent, and we're going to have to spend some time going through them and bringing you our favorite ones. So, thank you all. Have a wonderful November, and we will see you next month.
Thank you.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
See you guys.